Do you talk like this or do you talk like this? The first one is a situation called vocal fry, and it's something that a lot of my communication students have some trouble with. So today we're going to be talking about how do you avoid it. Welcome back to Forward. This is the communication channel that is helping to guide you towards better spoken performance and to guide you in that process. There is me. What's up, guys? My name is Jeff, and you may have heard that right now when I'm talking, my voice doesn't sound the same as it did a moment ago. And that's because it's using something called vocal fry. Vocal fry is that kind of like popping sound, and you have some control over it. Vocal fry is also a feature of some accents in North America, perhaps most stereotypically California, like a West Coast Valley Girl style accent. It's not necessary to speak that way. There is no biological need in English to do it. It's purely cultural, just based on specific regions where some people have adapted it into how they talk. But I will say that it is also something that is more common among female speakers of English than male, although male speakers certainly can do it too. And like any style of speaking that is different from how a cultural norm speaks, sometimes it can be the object of derision. People can make fun of it. People can tease it. It can have somewhat of a negative reputation. I'm not here to tell you to speak this way or to not speak this way. I am here solely to help you practice it, one, to identify if you yourself are doing it, and to have control over times that you do want to use it or times that you don't. Let's begin just with a vowel sound to start. We're going to use like an E sound. Try to project it from a low position. We're going to try to use our diaphragm and try to get this sound. E. Now, one of the things that you may find is if you relax a little bit more and play around with it, you may need to send things even a little bit lower. But if you do those two things, you may be able to arrive at a sound more like E. Hear the difference in E, 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 E. You can even do a quick exercise to introduce yourself. So, for instance, I can say, "Hi, my name is Jeff." Or you could say, like, "Hi, my name is Jeff." Are you able to bounce between them? Another exercise you can do is with another vowel sound. So, for instance, like an ah sounds like ah, 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 ah. And as you're doing that, you may find that you need to hold the sound a little bit longer to enter into that space. So, like, ah. Do you see at first I didn't have it, and then I got it. And in fact, you can also do that as an exercise too to practice entering vocal fry and exiting. So what we're going to do, let's use that ah sound again. We're going to start off with no vocal fry, then we're going to try to enter it, and then we're going to try to exit the fry. So it's going to sound something like this. Ah. Do you see the three parts there? Let's try to do that with an E sound. E. Let's try to do it with an A sound. A. Okay. Let's now also try to combine this a little bit with pitch. So we're going to do just like a 5-point pitch scale, start from a high pitch and work our way down. Okay. We'll say like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. High pitch to low. As you get to the lower pitches, try to enter the vocal fry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's try to do the opposite. Let's start with vocal fry and then try to remove it. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, I had a little bit of vocal fry there at the end. I'm going to try to remove that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, some places where I see vocal fry happening the most with my students tend to be a couple of key areas. Firstly, places where there are reductions. So that means a part of a word that's not stressed. The other part I see this is when we try to tap into especially lower pitches. So we see this a lot. For instance, when you have a word that has multiple syllables and the stress comes early, very often the other syllables tend to be places where I see students adopting some vocal fry. So we're going to try to avoid that. As always, I have a text that we're going to be using. I'm going to read this just normally before we play around with it. Balcony. City grid, a golden honeycomb. So we have a couple words here that have multiple syllables, right? We have balcony. The stress is on the first syllable. So one of the things you want to watch out for if you're trying not to use vocal fry is you want to make sure that those last couple syllables don't have it. So you don't want to say balcony as much as you want to say balcony. Do you hear the difference? Balcony, balcony. Another similar word to this is going to be honeycomb. The stress again is on the first syllable. Hun. The other two syllables are reduced. So we don't want to pronounce this with a vocal fry potentially as like honeycomb as much as you want to pronounce it as honeycomb. For the sake of our exercise, let's try to say this word all vocal fry and then no vocal fry. Balcony. Balcony. One more time. Balcony. Balcony. How about honeycomb? Honeycomb. 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 One of the things you might notice too, if when you're removing the vocal fry, one little tip that may be helpful is just talking a little bit louder. If you're someone that uses a lot of vocal fry, try talking louder. To continue practicing this concept, let's say this whole poem with vocal fry. Balcony, city grid, a golden honeycomb. Let's try to say it all with no vocal fry. Balcony, city grid, a golden honeycomb. Let's now try to go from no vocal fry to vocal fry. Balcony, city grid, a golden honeycomb. Let's try to do the opposite. Let's try to do vocal fry to no vocal fry. Balcony, city grid, a golden honeycomb. One final exercise we can do to continue experimenting with a vocal fry. Let's take this line, city grid, a golden. What I want you to do is alternate the syllables. This may be a little bit challenging. I want you to try doing no vocal fry, then vocal fry, then no vocal fry, then vocal fry, and so on. So none, then yes, then none, then yes. To give you an example, city grid, golden. Again, city grid, golden. City grid, golden. How about the opposite? Vocal fry, then none, then vocal fry, then none. City grid, golden. City grid, golden. Which of these exercises did you find to be the most challenging with the vocal fry? Let me know in the comments.